Hi, RD Bear here. Welcome to episode 8 in my basic tutorial of They Are Billions. This time I wanted to talk about the how do you control your army, and I've been mentioning that here and there that I'm going to do an episode like this. But it keeps on moving around where it's going to be. I've got a couple of other planned episodes that my plans on which episode to do next kind of are fluid, so don't necessarily take what I say about what's going to be happening next too seriously. Anyway, so let's get to it. This is the start of the Hidden Valley, the first mission that you play. This is my army here for rangers. You can also call like a generic soldier an army unit or just a unit, or you can just call them a soldier. But it's a little bit confusing because there are soldiers that are called soldiers with a capital S, so that you don't get those in this particular mission. But sometimes I'll say soldiers and mean just any kind of generic army unit there. But this is all we get this time, just the 4 rangers there. First of all, in this game, almost everything is based on select and then select then select then perform action. So first of all, I'm going to talk about select. So first of all, like I said, I think in the last episode, if you just click on something, that will select that thing. In this case, it's a ranger. You can also use the click and drag that will select some or all of them. Or you can use click and then shift click to add, or shift click to remove them from the selection. In the case of army units, though, there's a little icon down here on the lower right portion of the screen there. You can select all at once. That's another option that's sometimes useful if you've got like dozens of them like scattered all over the map and you don't want to use this. You just want all of them. There's one exception to that, but I will talk about that in a different episode. So what do you do once you have the unit or the soldier selected? Well, let's select one. The first thing you could do is just move them, and that you can do just by right click. So something like this. Okay. And I'll unpause it there, and she moves to that location. Out. Oops. Now, one thing you can do is if you just keep clicking at various locations, so she can just keep.
Okay, but it's gonna cost you double. Gotcha. Roger that.
She will keep following that click, and some people do this as a way to like micromanage their units. I tend not to do that. I tend to just move them around or put them on pause, tell them where I want to go, and then just let them do as they please. You do have to kind of keep an eye on them, though. Let's say one thing you have to watch out for is that she does not pick her own path when that would be inappropriate. Let's look at this little island here of forest. If I put her down here, I don't know what's down there, right? But if I click here, she might decide to go around this way. She has to go around in some direction. So if I say, if I select her, if I just select her and then say go there, she might go this way or this way, and the way it's selected is which way is the shortest route. It's not necessarily what is the sane route. There might be a horde of infected down here, and she would just not avoid them at all. She would just kind of go through here and try to make her way through them without even fighting back. So you want to be careful when you've got a complicated map and there are multiple routes, even if the routes aren't necessarily visible, that you, instead of just saying go here, you want to have them use a specific path. And there's ways of doing that, and I will get to that in a second. But that's the most basic movement. Generally, you would use this
Gotcha.
right-click move to get out of situations you do not want to be in. So it's your basic retreat move. There's other moves that I would use to advance troops. Right. See, the problem is, like I said, when you right-click, she just moves to that location, not doing anything else but moving along the way. So if there's an infected there, she'll just walk right past and not do anything about it. So that is something you want if you're trying to get away from multiple infected and get back, say, behind your lines. But otherwise, it's not. You have to watch out for if that's what you really want. All right. So far I've done selecting units and just the one move you can make that is not on this list here. And I will cover this list of menu options one by one. I have several of these hotkeyed in because I use them so often. A lot of the other ones I don't because they're just not used too often. So I'll cover them, but basically I just leave them as menu items. You can always, once your army unit is selected, you can just use the menu to do these things as well. All right, so the first one on the menu here is move, and you might think, well, that's just right-click, and you would be partially right, but it is slightly different. If I click move, and I've got that hotkeyed in, so I'll just use that. See, this changes to move here. Now I can point to a location, and she will move to that location, but notice that the mouse cursor has changed shape. If I cancel that, see, this is the normal mouse cursor, just an arrow. If I use the move command, now it's a plus sign, and the difference is that when if I want to cancel this command, I just right-click. So it's kind of confusing because right-click is also used to move, but in this case it's used to cancel the move command. When you've got a command active, and you can tell that because there's the cross on as the mouse cursor, you can always cancel that with right click, but when it's not the cross, then move means move, then the right click means move there. So there's two different ways to move. They both have the same effect once you actually do the commands. She's just going to move from there to there, but they're different in the way that they look on the screen, and also whether you can undo them or not, or cancel them or not. Now I'm going to go through these a little bit out of order. The next one I'm going to do is attack. So with move, it works a lot like the right click. I'll click move. The cursor changes to a cross, and then I point to the destination. With attack, it works the same way. I'll just cancel that. Right click to cancel. If I say attack, now it looks the same. I've got that cross sign as the cursor, but now it says attack, and it does more or less the same thing. I just click and it does a direction, or she'll go to that location. The difference is that she will attack anything along the path that she comes across, so, or attack any infected. So if there's an infected there, she won't just go right by it. She'll see it, attack it, and then only move on once it's defeated. So that's generally the way you would advance your forces. You want to advance, attack as soon as they get within range, and then move on only when there's no more enemies left. That is not what you want to do when you're retreating, by the way, because if she's busy attacking and you say use the attack move, so if she's fighting an infected there, say, and I say attack here,
You order?
she won't stop attacking until those fighting these guys until they're done, until those are defeated. And if she's outnumbered, she'll just keep on fighting until she's gone. So what you want to do when you're fighting, like I said before, is not use the attack move, but use the move. So like that. So like that. I did that kind of fast. So I clicked move, and then did it that way. And that way she'll just stop whatever she's doing and continue on to the location. And like I said before, again, this is the same. The right click will do that as well. All right. There's one more command like this, and that is patrol. And I'm going to that works in principle sort of the same way. I'll click patrol here, or I'll just use my hotkey, so like that. I'll click on a location.
Great.
And this time it sets up, you can see the path that she's going to take. What she'll do is she'll go from here to here, and then when she gets there, and it will work, when she goes from here to here, it will work just like attack. If she sees any enemies, she'll stop and attack them, and then move on once those are defeated. But when she gets here, she'll just turn around and go back, and she'll just keep on going back and forth until there's another enemy within range, and then she'll fight them and then continue to go back and forth along the path again. So that's useful for setting up a perimeter. Basically, what I might do is
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
let me have her start here. So going from here to here, I want to have her block this passage from here to here. So I'll put her on one side of the passage, and then click the patrol command, and then click on the other side of the passage where I want her to patrol. And now she'll just go back and forth between these two, and the infected won't be able to get through unless she's gets busy at one end or something like that. That won't be good. So you want to keep the lengths of these patrol paths reasonably short. If I have her patrol all the way across the map, that's not going to be good, because the infected, she's going to be gone for like a minute or something trying to follow that long path, and then when she finally comes back, the infected will have gotten through on the one end there. So that is good rule of thumb. Just keep the length of your patrol paths to a reasonable length. All right. So one thing the move, attack, and patrol commands all have in common is that they can be chained. And I'm going to cancel this. Let's try that with the move command. If you hold down shift while you're pointing to a location, that will add to the existing path. So for example, if I say move and then hold down shift,
Okay.
that adds to the well, I clicked here, so that adds to the existing move command, and now if I keep holding down shift, it'll keep on adding to that path. So like here, and then here, and then here, and then she'll just go ahead and follow that path. And that's how you get around this problem of how do you tell her to take a specific path rather than the shortest path. So if she was here,
Great.
if she was here and I wanted to tell her to go around this way and not that way, then I would tell her to
Gotcha. Whatever you say.
take that path, and that way she would go up here and then down here, and if do not follow her own instincts, which might be just to go around that way. So that's one use for the move command that you cannot do with right click. If I just right clicked there, that would not work. Let's cancel that. Notice when I right clicked there, it started a move command. So if I click move again and then shift click,
Okay.
it will start there and add it to the existing path. You cannot mix, by the way. You can't tell her to move from here to here and then attack from there to there, or move here to here and then patrol to there, from there to there. Okay, let's try that with attack, and that's works the same way. I click the select the soldier, click the attack command, and now when I use shift click, I can create a path,
Cost you double.
and then notice it shows up in a different color. The move is just yellow, the attack path shows up red, and the patrol path shows up in green. So you can tell what they're doing usually, if they're selected at least, by the color of the path there. And you can see that there's kind of arrows kind of flowing along to show the direction as well. So again, that's useful if you want her to follow a specific path to a location instead of just going there whatever path she thinks might work, which is not always the best. Alright, and this is most useful for these chained paths are most useful for for the patrol command. So if I cancel that, go to patrol. Let's have her start here,
As long as you pay me.
and I want her to patrol the railroad tracks here. So follow this curve around. So what I would do is hit patrol, and then hit shift click, and then just create a path
Roger that.
that follows the railroad tracks like that. And now she'll follow that entire green path. And then when she gets to the end, she'll come around and go back. And let's just keep repeating that pattern. Notice I can't do that with just one click, because then she'll just take the shortcut there. So that's useful like for like patrolling walls or complicated shapes or that kind of thing. And that's normally, I think that's the majority of cases where you're going to be using this kind of complicated or multi-leg path idea. There's two more things I wanted to talk about, and then I'll go play a little bit further in the game and give a more kind of detailed examples, more situational type tactics. There are all sorts of levels of tactics, so I'm just going to go over the basics this time. But I wanted to go over some of the ones that you might use in this particular map here. This is just a starting out map, so you don't get too fancy here. So if I want her to stop what she's doing, that's what this command here is for the stop. If I just click that, she'll just stop whatever she's doing immediately, and then just stop moving. If there are enemies within range, though, she will start attacking them, which is and if enemies come in and wander in, then she'll attack them too. So this is more than just stop. It's more like stop and guard the location. So I use that a lot if there's not enough of a distance to cover with a patrol path. If there's just a tiny little gap that I want to patrol, I just put her in the middle and just let her stay there. There's no reason to patrol like a little path like that. An alternative to path is hold. They do virtually the same thing. I think really the only difference is that with hold, sometimes if one of your units gets in the way of another one, we'll put her here.
Okay.
And then I want her to go from here to here past her to there. So I'll tell her to go like that.
Are you sure?
So she just kind of gets shoved out of the way, which if you got this complicated, precise arrangement of soldiers, then you probably don't want that to happen. So that's when you would use hold, so that they won't get out of the way. They won't be pushed. So if I click hold on her and then try to have her go past, like I did before, see, she just goes around. She doesn't. The first one doesn't get shoved around like that. That can be a problem though, because they can get in each other's way, and if they're on stop, then eventually they can push their way past and keep going. If they're on hold, then that's not the case. They can get stuck on each other and not be able to move, which is usually a bad thing. So I normally don't use hold. I usually just say stop. If they shove each other around, that's fine. I can just move them back manually. It doesn't happen that often. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play ahead in the mission a bit. I won't include that in the episode, so I'll just play ahead a little bit, get our soldier center going, and recruit some more rangers, and I will come back when I have things set up to do a little bit more with a little bit more complicated type commands. So I will come back then. Notice first thing I'm going to do is expand out our territory. I'm just going to have these guys, I'm going to tell them to move out to the outer edges of our known area, and they're just going to stay there or patrol or whatever until I'm ready to expand further. So I'll just do that to start out with. So click, then attack
Are you sure?
to a location, click attack to a location, click attack to a location,
Gotcha.
and click on the other one. I'll just let them go a little bit so I can
You are gonna
get that
pay
a
me
bit
for this,
more
right?
easily, and then attack to a location. So now they're all fanned out like that. So that's usually how you start a mission. Just sort of take your army and have them fan out to and protect your command center. Kind of a perimeter like this. Right. Before I go on, now that I've expanded, I can see an infected there, and it's one thing you can do with attack that you can't do with the other commands. If I select her, for example,
What?
I can have her attack a specific enemy. So if I go click here, I say attack, then I can click on the specific infected that I want her to attack. Then
My arrows.
you get a different vocal response there, and she'll just go ahead and start attacking there. Now you want to be careful because if I click her, if I click attack and then I want her to go there, I have to be careful not to have her attack her teammate, because what will happen is
Clean the house.
she'll go up and start attacking, and the teammate there will just sort of take it until she dies. So you want to be careful that when you do this attack and then
Order, you pay.
click, that when you're clicking on either an empty space or on an actual infected, and not one of your teammates or a friendly building. That would be bad as well. We could theoretically have these guys destroy the command center just by selecting them all and having them all attack it, and that would end the game really fast. Anyway. Alright, well, I've advanced just a little bit. I keep on coming back to, because there's things I want to cover that I hadn't thought about. I'm going to set up a perimeter from here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here. And I also want to make sure that I get the top end there, so I want to make sure that there's somebody standing right at the end of the railroad tracks there. I have had cases where I lost a mission because I didn't have anyone posted there, and the infected just kind of wandered in along here and then started attacking things, and that did not turn out well. So yeah. So I'll show that in a second. Another thing I wanted to show is sometimes there are these pickups on the map, and the way you do that, you pick those up, you select the your soldier, and when you see the gear sign, just right click on that, and she goes ahead and picks that up. And I'm going to get her out of there for the moment, because I see infected there, and I don't want her to start attacking those yet. I want them to be unmolested for the time being, so they don't start wandering around too much and possibly making trouble. In this map, it wouldn't be an issue, but too much. But just as a matter of habit, not when you see large numbers of infected. It's best to wait until you have a comparable force to attack them. All right, so I'm going to set up my starting perimeter. I think all the infected are gone from this area here. And one way I can check that, let me move her here. one way I can check that is I'll put her on chase. So what that's gonna do is she will try to find the or she will have a she will try to locate the nearest infected and head right toward it, or head to that location, and then attack. And I don't. That's useful because sometimes don't necessarily see infected on the map. For example, right here, there's nothing. None of my buildings or soldiers or anything are within range. So theoretically, there could be an infected there, and I wouldn't know it because it's invisible. In fact, you can see that
You are gonna pay me for this.
down here. If I move her, oops.
Yes.
If I move her within range, see all those infected started showing up. When I move her away,
Building completed.
when I move her away, they disappear. So you only see infected if they are within the visibility range of your soldier, or sometimes buildings have visibility ranges too. But so you want to make sure that even though so it's a little bit misleading, because even though I can see that there is like open land there, I can't see what is in it. So even though I can see like the whatever those are, the tents or ruins or whatever those are, I can't see the infected in there because those have been moving around. So yeah. So a way to around that is I can just click one soldier and then click chase, and that's this command down here. I don't have that hotkeeyed in, but now she'll just go in, try to find the nearest infected, and I'm not sure, it's a little bit unpredictable. Yeah, she's gonna go around and try to go around this way and attack them from over here. I think this is what I was talking about with the routes, by the way. The shortest way around from here to here is around this. This turns out to be a passage in here, so she'll go around there. Even though I don't know it's there, the game knows, and she knows where it is, so she'll follow that path. And again, that might not be a wise decision. So I'll just have her stop where she is, and I'm going to set up that path from, or that perimeter from here to here. So I'll have her just stop there. So I'll click move to have her go there. I'll have her go there, and then she can guard the end of the railroad track there, and then she can go and she can go there. Now, once everybody's in position, she's just going to stay there. I want her to patrol from there to there, and her to patrol from there to there. So I'll just go click, and then patrol, and then like this, and then do that here with her. Click and patrol, and then click. And now to see what everybody's patrol paths are, is that? Well, that's just a bird. Okay. To see what everybody's control paths are, I can just select them all. So I remember that's that that button down, or that button on the lower right there. So now they're all selected, and the ones that are patrolling, you can see the patrol path. So I can see this gap is covered, that gap is covered, that gap is covered, and the railroad tracks are covered. So as long as I have cleared all the infected out of this area here, I'm going to be safe, as long as they don't come in too great of numbers and kind of get past them. At least at the very worst, you'll get a warning when that happens. So anyway, so I'll continue until I get the command center or the soldier center, create a few more soldiers, and then come back. All right, well, we're a little bit further advanced in the mission here. We're on day 7 now. I've built some tents, and I've built a soldier center, and that's in the military section of the command center menu. It's right there. I can't build another one quite yet, but that's where the icon is. So I've built one there, and I've started creating units or rangers. To train a ranger, you just click up here. There's usually going to be several choices here, but if you to train a particular kind, you just click the icon here. It will be added to the queue. The queue has only 5 slots in it, so you can't do more. You can't have more than you can only have one actually training at a given time, but you can have 4 more queued up. If you want to have more than one soldier training at a given time, you need multiple soldier centers. That's not something you usually need to do, at least at the easy level in the starting missions, but it does get more difficult a bit later, and you might end up with 3 or 4 soldier centers, depending on how fast you really need to train these guys. If you want to, so I'll just click on one more, and now if you want to undo that, just click down here. That will remove one from the queue, and that will restore the money you paid. It's a good idea not to fill this up all the time, because even though she's not actually being trained, the money has been used, and if you're short on gold, which is often the case, you don't want to have all that gold tied up in rangers that aren't actually doing anything. They're just sort of waiting in line. So I usually try to keep this in the middle, 2 or 3 rangers total. That keeps it so that I don't have to pay attention to it too often. But if I have if I try to keep it full all the time, then that's using, well, let's see, that's 5 times or 4 times whatever this costs. So 400, it's almost 500 gold, which is a lot. I mean, we're only getting 300 per cycle there, so it's best to keep that somewhere in the middle there, I think. Anyway, so when the ranger is done, she kind of pops out here right in front of the command center. I can change that. There's this set rally point command here. If I click that, then I can again, it's like a select target or select location command. So the mouse cursor turns into a plus sign. I want to have them rally right here, right where that one is waiting at or guarding the railroad tracks there. So I'm going to have them move here. That won't affect any of the ones that have already popped out, but all the future ones, as soon as they pop out, they'll head straight toward that location. This one, in the meantime, I'm going to have her come over here and start there. So I'll have her go there. So that's expanded out our range of vision a little bit, and looks like an infected showed up there. I'll wait till that one is defeated. Okay, and one thing you might notice on this map is this is not a pickup, this is just a sign. If you want to read the sign, you just have a ranger selected and then right click,
Okay.
she'll walk up to the sign and you can see what the sign says. This is the game's way of telling you that everything beyond this like narrow passage is more dangerous than what we've seen down here. So we don't want to go in there until we have our forces prepared. Meanwhile, I'm going to have her
Oh.
move up this
Roger that.
passage here.
The train has arrived at the station.
And you'll notice that there is a similar sign right there. So that says pretty much the same thing. Okay, so those
Building
are
completed.
our future areas to explore. But the point I wanted to make here is some maps do have these like additional information signs and sometimes it's just sort of flavor text, but sometimes it's actually something you should pay attention to. So now that these two are in position, I'm going to wait for another ranger to start to come out, and then I'm going to start clearing this this area here, and I'm just going to have her start with this one, have those two join together, make a team, and then clear down here, and then this one can join, and then continue on down there. So I'll show the start of that. I probably won't show all of it, but that's my plan at least.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Right. See, she just came out and she's immediately going to wait right there. Right, I didn't even have to wait. So I'm going to make sure this is fully stocked up, because I'm going to be busy kind of micromanaging these guys for a bit. And let's have her just sort of clear this black area down here.
I hope you're not wasting my time.
And I'll have her go and join them, so they'll be together. And now,
What?
one thing that one pattern I like to use when I'm like clearing a passage like this is I select the units that I'm going to use, I hit attack, and then I follow this kind of L-shaped pattern. So I'll click here and then here, and that way I make sure there's no infected that are going to be in that entire area, and I'll just keep repeating that that L-shaped pattern. As long as there's no infected there, they're just gonna keep going, and I can actually keep this going with a chain of them. So I'll do an attack, and then just kind of do this kind of zigzag pattern.
Yes. Okay.
And once I reach that one, I'll have her join in with the same thing. So I'm just making sure there's no infected like in that entire region there, and since these are already blocked off, there's no infected that are gonna come through here or here, at least not without warning. So I'll have her join with that, and
You order, you pay.
continue like that. And then I'll have
Better be good.
them all come in. So now this entire area is infected free. I don't have to worry about patrolling it anymore. So I'll just have them meet up there. And that's close enough to an infected that they're going to attack before they actually reach that spot. Alright. So, right, I've got another one that just
Here we
got
go.
trained, so I'll have her meet the others down here. Notice I'm using the attack move to move her, because I'm going forward, I'm not retreating.
Great.
And make sure this is still about half full. Now that I've got a group of 5 here, I want to go in and clear this area out here. And I noticed before that there were a bunch of infected in here, and that's why I didn't want to have one do it alone. In this particular map, it probably would have been possible to do it with just one, but it's probably a good idea as a habit to not do that. Usually when you're clearing a new area, except when you're very close to home here, to use a good strong force. If nothing else, it's going to make clearing it faster. And since this is a relatively small area, I'm going to put them on chase. This is one example where I would use chase. So they're going to go through and they're just going to find these infected in here and just keep attacking until they get to the end there. And the reason I'm not doing that in general is because the rule they follow does not tell them to stay together. So unless you have like a confined space like this, they can tend to wander off from each other, and that's not good. You don't want one soldier just sort of wandering off by herself and not being protected by the group there. But in this case, that's not going to happen. So I'll just put these on chase, and we'll just see what happens as they clear that out.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Right, I want to make sure that these continue to be trained, so whenever I hear that announcement that she's ready, I'll click this again and put another ranger on in the queue there. Meanwhile, these are just going bananas and clearing out this area pretty easily. These are relatively slow and weak infected, by the way. There's different
Train has arrived at the station.
different types in this map. You only see the weak and slow ones in this lower area. Right, and now these are the infected are gone from here. The nearest infected is probably up here or up here. So these guys are going to head for that. I want to stop them before they get there, though, because of these warning signs there. So I'll let them follow their instincts until they get there, and then I'll hit and then I'll hit the stop, and then they'll stop. So right there. Alright, make sure these keep on training. And once I get a force of about 10 altogether, I'm going to start clearing this area. So let's see how many I have. One more. I'll wait for one more and then and do that. Meantime, now that this is cleared, I'm free to put the Tesla towers and actually expand our control of this territory. So I'll do that while I'm waiting for these guys to finish training. Alright, well, I've gotten a little bit further. I've started expanding our Tesla towers. I added a couple more houses. I should really be doing that more, but since I'm explaining things, I'm tending to get a little bit distracted and not playing as well as I should be here. Anyway, there was a pickup here that I forgot to pick up. I'll grab one of my rangers there, have her pick that up. And that was a food pickup, so I can start building more houses.
What do you want now?
And now I believe I have 10 rangers here. So I can,
Attention. Building completed.
or actually now 11. So I can go in, start, and I'm gonna go and clear this area first. So I'll just go ahead and do that. So what I'm gonna do, first advance to this area here. Remember that's attack, the attack command, and then click. And now that I've got a force of 10, they're pretty much they're going to be pretty hard to stop. The infected in here are somewhat faster and stronger. For example, you might notice this one. This is a colonist. This one isn't just going to like. Most of all what we've seen so far, they've just been shambling along. This is not. This is going to actually come and run at us, and it is about twice as strong as as one of these. So and it's much faster. So not only can it get to our soldiers faster and start actually attacking before it gets killed, but its attacks are going to be stronger. So you don't want to try to deal with these with one single ranger. You want to have enough so that you're going to outnumber any of those that you might have. So we'll see that probably happen in a minute.
My bow and arrows are ready.
Right, let's have her join the rest. So I'll just select them all. Unless I'm leaving one here to keep guard on that bridge, because I don't want any of them kind of wandering in this way either. And again, I'm going to use this this L-shaped maneuver to make sure that I get the entire region cleared. So I'll click attack, and then click one leg down here at one edge. I didn't click attack. Click here,
I hope you're not
and then
wasting
click
time.
across
Yes.
to get that entire like swathe of the passage there. Yeah, see, there's one of the stronger infected, and it's just running at us. So if I didn't have multiple rangers there, that would be an issue. One ranger can defeat one fast infected like this, but she will take damage, so you wouldn't want her to do more than one. One thing you might notice is whenever there's someone being trained in your soldier center, it's got a thermometer over it, and there's no thermometer, so that means there's no one being trained at the moment. So I want to make sure there's always a thermometer there, because I want to have people being trained whenever possible. In the meantime, I'll let these guys go. I'll add some more houses and towers and whatnot. All right. Well, I've let these guys zigzag their way across, and I've got the paths continuing for that. Meanwhile, I've extended my Tesla towers up to this area here, and what I'm going to do is put in some backup for them, just a couple of these gates. And you can put a gate over the railroad tracks, so you have to make sure that they're oriented in the right way. So like that. She's standing in the gate, so I'll have her move there. So that will be a good backup if there is a problem. If I run into an unexpectedly strong group here, I can just have them
You are training for this, right?
stop what they're doing and just right click behind the gate there, and then they'll all run behind the gate, and the gate will protect them while they can counterattack. That's not going to work if you get too many, though. So, but it is a good idea to have a fallback protection if you need it. I am not going to actually do that though. Well, let me just show what would happen. So they're just going to stop whatever they're doing and then fall back behind the gate. And then if there's any infected chasing them, they'll just the gate will block the attacks and they can attack over the gate. Alright, well, I've reached the end. There's like this little isthmus here and the edge of the map, as you can tell here, is right above there. And you can't build anything beyond the edge of the map, so there's really no point in going further than that. So I'm going to just get this one little area. I'll do the same thing, attack, and then hold down shift, and then kind of
Great. Yes. Yeah.
make sure I cover the rest of that area over there. Meantime, I need to keep building houses, and I could expand my Tesla towers in here, and I think I will do that. I'll just get that started there. Now that this area has been cleared, I'm safe to put the Tesla towers in, otherwise they can be attacked. It might be a good idea, just to be on the safe side, to post a couple of guards there, just in case there are any infected that weren't accounted for. It's probably not needed in this case. I think I did a pretty good job of cleaning the infected out, but you never know. So it's often not a bad idea just to, if you have soldiers to spare, just put them next to the Tesla towers as they're building and keep them protected for a while. So these guys are now doing what they're gonna do, and they'll finish off this area here.
Arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed.
And one thing I could do just to make sure is to put one of these on chase. If there's any left up here, she'll go after those. Otherwise, she'll probably start heading down to there. And anyway, so what I'm going to do is I want to patrol that border. So I'm going to take all but 4 of these guys, and what I can do when they're highlighted, you can see this little number down here. If you can adjust that downward. So I've got 15 there. If I adjust that down to 11, that will leave 4 unselected. So I'm going to move the selected ones down here. So like that.
Building completed.
Now I've got 4 left over, and I will have them patrol back and forth. And with the edge of the map, you generally want fairly strong patrols, and we'll eventually get walls put in there. But that's a matter of getting a chain of Tesla towers up in there. So I will do that off screen, since it's off topic for this video, and come back when I've done that. In the meantime, so I'm pretty confident though that these 4 guys can handle that one section of the gap there, and so what I'm going to do is take the rest of them, including these I left guarding the tower and this one, and have them join this one and start across the bridge. So I'll go ahead and attack starting there. So these guys are patrolling, these guys are all joining up together, and we've got a force of 15, which is pretty impressive. I've got another one that I can have join as well, so that makes 16. they should be able to handle anything that they come across in this area. So I'll just go ahead
So
and
tired. Last night was amazing.
have them cross the bridge.
You order, you pay.
So again, what I would normally do here is that kind of L-shaped, or and this is a more narrow passage, so I probably would just have them advance straight. But use L-shaped patterns of attack. You don't want to get too close to the black area. The idea is to kind of just expand the visible area a little bit, because you don't know what is behind that black area, and if you come on it too fast, you might get in trouble. But so that's the pattern I would normally do. I'm just going to go ahead. I've got these 16 here. I'm just going to go ahead and do chase, and we'll see what happens. And it's going to be important to keep an eye on them, and you'll see why, I think. So I'll just put them on chase. They're just going to go ahead and clear. It's sort of like an automatic clear command, but you do have to monitor it. Right. So this is what I was talking about. They're all on chase, but for some reason this one has decided to wander off on her own and attack this whole area over here with no backup. And meanwhile, the rest of these guys are just going to attack that one lone infected there, and then they're going to figure out that the rest of them are somewhere else. So that's why if you use chase, you want to keep an eye on it. It really doesn't save a whole lot in general, at least in terms of how much you have to monitor what's going on. So that's why I try not to use chase as a default. I try to use this attack maneuver. Just make the attack cover as much area as possible, rather than have them chase on their own, because they don't normally do what you might expect, which is just to stay together and fight as a team. So I'm going to go ahead and select these. If they start getting separated, I right click at a location, so they'll kind of form up again into a formation, and then I'll either continue with chase, which hopefully now that they're all together they won't get separated again, or I'll just go ahead and use the attack maneuver. So I'm going to do the attack this time. Alright, well, I've cleared out this entire area here. I can't put Tesla towers up here, by the way. They don't reach across this river, and you can't put them on the bridge, so this basically is going to have to be forever outside our influence. So I can't put any houses or anything like that in there. But I'm going to, now that this is done, I'm going to take these guys and move them up here, because the attack, when it comes, this number here says next swarm. That tells me when that attack is going to be. It's going to have to be through here, so I know where the attack is going to be ahead of time. That is not normally the case. It's going to be somewhere where you don't know you don't know ahead of time where it's going to be, or it's going to be from all directions at once, which is usually what happens at the end of the mission. So in this case, I can see that there's no other way for the infected to come in, so this is the only place I have to guard. It You might think they could come in through here. Take it off flat mode here. You might think they'd be able to come in here, but it seems to be that whenever the railroad track hits the edge of the map, that is not a location where infected could come in. My theory is that the railroad track just clears them out automatically, or the train just wipes out any infected that might happen to be in that passage. So that's generally not where you see infected coming from. Same thing for this one down here. There is a railroad track that hits the edge of the map. There aren't going to be any infected this way. I've got a map edge over here. But those are just blocked off by rocks and forest and whatnot also. So again, not going to be coming this way, those directions either. So I'm left with there. So my only task is now to move these guys up here, finish my chain of towers so I can put defenses up, and then wait for the final swarm. So I'll do most of that off screen. Oh, one thing I wanted to do though is now that we're kind of done here, is to put these guys on chase and see what happens. And notice they're not doing anything because there are no infected on the map. We're going to see some coming in here. They'll come in drips and drabs every so often this way, but right now there aren't any on the map, so these guys have nothing to chase, so they're just going to stay where they are. So I'm just going to move them over here to be prepared.
I hope.
All right, well, I'm ready to put in my final defenses here. Notice one thing I had to do before that is move the patrollers out of the way temporarily. It's not going to make a big difference because I'm going to put walls there right away, so it shouldn't be a problem. And once the walls are in place, I'll arrange the rangers behind the wall so that as soon as the infected come in, they can attack, or counterattack, I should say. Meanwhile, I'm still working on the rest of the colony here, so there's plenty of time still. Alright, well, it's day 20 in our mission. The rest of the colony is done, basically. I reached my population goal, so that's all I really needed. And we're just preparing for the final swarm, so I created a wall up there and have my row of rangers there to protect the wall and attack the infected as they come in. And there isn't really a lot here.
Better be good.
The attack, compared to Cape Storm, this is not a big deal. So, one final thing I wanted to show you in terms of maneuvers, how do you get the Rangers to line up in a neat little row like this? Well, what I did is I took them in groups of 3, like that group of 3 there. And, what I did is right-click, but not on that square, but on the occupied square next to it. So what that will do is, since they can't go to that wall because it's occupied, the game will tell them to go into the nearest unoccupied square. So if I right-click on the wall there, you'll see a little flash of green right in there, and that tells them the game has redirected them to the center of that square there. So I'll just right-click that.
Yes.
You'll see the flash of green. I'll let the thing go, and they'll line up right next to that wall, like very like they're very organized, and so that kind of saves on individual positioning. Not that it really makes a lot of difference, but it's nice to have it look good if there's the option, I guess.
Here we go again.
Anyway, so that's it until the final swarm, and I think what I'll do is just wait that out and cut out everything until the actual infected arrive, and then I'll just include then I'll just show how that attack goes, just for completeness. We won't actually be doing any more maneuvering with the army. They'll just attack automatically, so there won't be anything there shouldn't be anything else I have to do at this point. Alright, the swarm has arrived, so I'll just let that play out to the end of the video. In the meantime, next time I will, or I'm planning at least, to do kind of the first part of my phase by phase outline of how missions progress. I still haven't settled on the names, but I guess the first one will just be called the starting phase. That shouldn't change, probably. So I hope you'll join me for that, and until then, bye. Let's just see how this plays out.
They are trying to break through.